astronauts walked on the moon, they first took some giant leaps in northern Arizona. The Apollo 11 crew tested their skills and equipment on the surfaces of the Meteor Crater and Cinder Lake Crater Field.
Coming soon to Arizona PBS.
Americans couldn't do anything in Iraq or Afghanistan without local people.
I never thought I would ever become friends like this with an Iraqi.
I told him, dude, when you leave, what's gonna happen to me?
I made a promise. I'm gonna help him get here with his family.
The Interpreters.
All new Monday night at 9 on Arizona PBS. Support for Arizona PBS comes from viewers like you and from
Hospice of the Valley, a not-for-profit community hospice for patients nearing end of life and support for their families. HOV.org.
From the Cronkite Studios in downtown Phoenix, this is Cronkite News.
I was a sergeant in the United States Army, deported a year and a half ago.
American veterans deported. Cronkite News travels to Tijuana to talk to men and women who served our country about waiting for the chance to return home.
Plus, dust storm dangers, what ADOT is doing to keep Arizonans safe when haboobs hit the valley.
If the ponies weren't here, I hate to think what would happen to our economy here.
And some call them national treasures, legends, even though their populations have proven difficult to control out west. But now wild horse advocates say there may be a solution and a way to keep their legacy alive.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Totri.
And I'm Ellie Nakamoto-White. Thank you for joining us.
Our big story tonight, American veterans risk their lives for this country, enjoying the respect, admiration, and benefits that come with having served.
But there's a number of them who say they've been discarded. They're deported vets now forced to live in their countries of origin, unable to come back to the U.S.
Cronkite News reporter Marcela Bayeto traveled down to Mexico to see how these servicemen and women are adjusting to living in a place they refuse to call home.
Every case is different. While some let their green cards expire, others committed crimes as residents. No matter the details, they all have one thing in common. They want to come back to the country they served. We wanted to get answers from immigration and customs officials on their policies when it comes to U.S. veterans. And while the complicated legal process plays out, there is a place in Tijuana that has become a safe haven for them, a place they call home, away from home.
I was a sergeant in the United States Army, deported a year and a half ago.
A year and a half of uncertainty and frustration for Jose Velasco. The Army sergeant has had to completely uproot his life to Tijuana, Mexico, after he was deported out of the United States. Velasco, like many other deported veterans, came legally to the U.S. as a child at just 11 years old in 1964. 7 years later, Velasco was drafted into the Army during the Vietnam War. After the war ended in '75, Velasco says he continued to serve his country.
I was discharged, and they thanked me very much for what I did and so forth, and then I went to the National Guard.
After a few years, Velasco returned to civilian life. At this point, he was a resident of the U.S. He never felt the need to become a citizen because of a false promise, he says, was made by his Army recruiter.
The recruiter made me believe that as soon as my service ended, I was to be an automatic citizen, which was not true. And I found out that the hard way, later, much later in my life.
It wasn't until Velasco had a run-in with the law in 2012 that he realized becoming a citizen would have saved him from being deported. Velasco arriving in Tijuana in June of last year. His first stop, a place called the Bunker House.
When I got here on practically penniless. If it wasn't for Yoli and the bunker, Mr. Barajas, I probably would have been asking for money up there outside the church in downtown Tijuana.
The bunker is ran by Hector Barajas, an Army vet who was deported in 2009 but granted a full pardon by California Governor Jerry Brown in 2018. The pardon allowing Barajas to get his U.S. citizenship back. Now, the former paratrooper with the 82nd Airborne Division has made it his new mission to provide legal resources, support, and even housing to other deported servicemen and women. The Bunker House, located here in this residential Tijuana neighborhood, first opened its doors back in 2013. And Barajas says that since then, they've helped hundreds of U.S. deported veterans get back to the place that they call home.
Thank you for the opportunity to appear before the subcommittee to testify.
Barajas testified in front of the House Judiciary Committee last week, advocating for legislation to bring home these veterans.
I feel the military needs to be accountable, and they need to take their responsibility in making sure that they sit you down and tell you that you can become a citizen.
Arizona lawmakers like Representative Raul Grijalva reintroduced legislation in April attempting to establish a path to citizenship for these servicemen and women. In a statement, Grijalva says, quote, "I introduced the Veteran Deportation Prevention and Reform Act to ensure that America stops this egregious process of deporting veterans and allows those who were deported to come home to their families and the country they love. It is time for Congress to take action and protect immigrant veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much for our nation." In June, the U.S. Government Accountability Office released this report stating Immigration and Customs Enforcement has not done enough to handle, identify, and track deported U.S. veterans. The report cites multiple issues, including not consistently adhering to policies for handling cases of removable veterans, not developing a policy to identify and document all military veterans it encounters, and not maintaining complete electronic data on veterans. That last point is why the exact number of deported veterans isn't fully known, according to Rebecca Gambler, director of the GAO report.
We identified approximately 250 veterans who were placed in removal proceedings or removed from the United States during the time period fiscal year 2013 through 2018. It's important to note this is based on, limited information, so there could be additional veterans.
Iracema Coronado started researching deported vets in 1996. She says there are thousands of additional vets not being tracked.
The Hispanic Congressional Caucus, they estimate 3,000 deported veterans throughout the world. I think that there could be an accommodation made.
After the GAO report, ICE has been criticized for its handling of deported veterans. When asked about its policies, they provided Cronkite News with the following statement, reading in part, quote, "ICE does not statistically track the number of individuals deported who had previously served in the U.S. military. Applicable law requires ICE to mandatorily detain and process for removal individuals who have been convicted of aggravated felonies as defined under the Immigration and Nationality Act. One of those individuals is Leonel Contreras, who was an 11 Bravo infantryman. He says substance abuse led to a life of crime and eventual deportation.
I think it's kind of cruel that you get deported because you're not a citizen. I think that if you do the time that the judge has already sentenced you to, that should be the end of it. This is like more punishment on our behalf.
Richard Avila served in a helicopter squadron in the Marine Corps. The serviceman was sent back to Mexico in 1996. Years later, he is still struggling.
I still don't feel at home. I'm not at home. I'm an American by culture. I am proud of my heritage, but I'm not a Mexican. I'm an American. And I'd like to go home someday.
Many of these veterans say PTSD, depression, drugs, and alcohol eventually led to their actions and criminal convictions. Veterans like Velasco say all they want is eventually to make it back home to the U.S. But at 75 years old,
I'm one of the oldest people being deported as a veteran.
By the time his legal case is possibly resolved, it could be too late. The next time he's reunited with his family might be at his funeral.
I mean, I'm gonna die here, I guess, I'm diabetic. And they said that the only way you're gonna get across back to your hometown and back to your country is on a pine box.
The Veteran Deportation Prevention and Reform Act will need the Department of Homeland Security to first create a Military Family Immigration Advisory Committee. It would then make recommendations on whether targeted veterans should be deported. This would also establish a pathway to citizenship for military spouses and their children. In the Broadcast Center, Marcel Bayeto, Cronkite News.
With Veterans Day just around the corner, businesses nationwide are offering a wide variety of discounts and freebies throughout the weekend. To those who served, here are 3 that caught our attention.
First, Amazon is offering $40 off one-year Prime subscriptions for veterans. Any veteran who already is Prime can renew their subscription at the lower rate.
On Monday only, Starbucks will offer a free tall coffee to veterans and their spouses. And for every hot brewed coffee purchased on November 11th, they'll donate 15 cents to Blue Star families.
And finally, more than 400 National Park Service sites will offer free admission in recognition of Veterans Day, including free access to parks like Yosemite, Zion, and the Grand Canyon. For a more complete list, go to military.com.
Now, we want to see photos of the veterans in your life. You can share them with us on our Facebook or Twitter feeds by using the hashtag Cronkite News.
And tune into Cronkite News Monday at 5 p.m. for our Veterans Day special.
Developing now, the CDC has announced a breakthrough in its investigation into the spike of vaping-related illnesses. Officials are saying vitamin E acetate is a, quote, strong culprit, but more research is needed to confirm whether or not it's the only harmful substance found in vaping liquids, or if a combination of ingredients is to blame.
New tonight, officials here in Arizona have struggled to manage the wild horses and burros roaming the desert.
But on an island off the eastern shore of Virginia and Maryland, they found a way to control the wild horses and make them a central part of the community.
Cronkite News reporter Brian Peach brings us the story.
Here on Chincoteague Island, ponies are everywhere. From stores to restaurants to the high school mascot, the island's wild horses are a pillar of the community and the local economy.
The whole economy depends on these ponies. I mean, if the ponies weren't here, I hate to think what would happen to our economy here.
Legend has it that the horses landed on the island, now a popular summer vacation spot, after a shipwreck, while some say 17th century settlers put them on the island to avoid taxes. The horses rose to fame in the 1947 book, Misty of Chincoteague, and they still roam free, thanks to a grazing permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, paid for by the Chincoteague Volunteer Fire Department, which owns and manages the horses. Volunteer firefighter and self-described saltwater cowgirl Denise Bowden was born and raised on the island, growing up around the wild horses that she now manages.
We take great pride in making sure that they're healthy and happy and sustainable. And we take great pride in the event and our volunteers, and again, it is all volunteers that does every bit of this. We take great pride in being able to keep this tradition going and praying that it'll go another 95 years coming.
The grazing permit limits the herd to 150 horses. To keep population at that level, the fire department auctions off foals every summer and swims the horses across the bay in a roundup that has become a central draw to the town for tourists and locals alike. Darcy Cole, a local Chincoteague resident, walks around the island reserve where the horses live every day.
They are a national treasure, and they are part of this community. This community revolves around the ponies.
And on the other side of the island, called Assateague, a separate herd of horses is owned and managed by the National Park Service, which has pioneered a form of birth control to maintain a sustainable population size.
They're managed quite differently for one of the same end results, which is control the population so they don't overpopulate and overgraze their resource.
While the programs on both sides of the island are managed differently, Bowden said the horses have a rich history that needs to be protected.
They've been roaming, these wild horses have been roaming over here for almost 500 years, long before we were ever here to do anything with them. They've lived and bred and died over here, and that's going to continue to happen no matter what.
Bowden said the key is to engage younger generations to keep the ponies' legacies alive. On Chincoteague Island in Virginia, Brian Peach, Cronkite News.
If you're wondering why Bowden calls herself a saltwater cowgirl, it's a reference to the annual pony roundup by Chincoteague's firefighters. Before they can be auctioned off, the ponies have to swim the channel to the town of Chincoteague, where they are held for auction.
Encountering dust storms and haboobs is just part of life here in the desert, but ADOT is working to keep Arizonans safe when these weather phenomena strike by bringing dust-detecting sensors to more freeways. The sensors use beams of light to detect dust density in the air. Several of them are already in use along stretches of the I-10. When the sensors are triggered by increasing dust, digital signs along the freeway will automatically alert drivers of the dusty conditions and help reduce the speed limit as low as 35 miles per hour. The sensors will have a range of 40 miles and will alert drivers from Phoenix to Tucson. And now we're joined by Ricky Cornish. Ricky, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing good.
Doing good. Ricky, this weather this past weekend was crazy. The rain, the hail. What was that about?
It was insane. I couldn't believe how much we got. Actually, here at Cronkite News, we can post a little video from a ton of stuff that was submitted online, just capturing the crazy weather we had this week. As we can see here.
Wow.
Yeah, out of
Sparky
nowhere.
was behind that.
Yes. In the West Valley, I mean, we got a ton of lightning and rain. And then as we moved down into Glendale, Avondale, and Flagstaff, there was just a ton of rain coming down over the past week. But then if we actually look at this video, this really kind of got me going crazy. This is out in Prescott.
Wow.
Yes, I mean, literally people picking up handfuls of hail. It's just something I've never seen before personally. But then we get to the end of this week up in Superstition Mountains and it's just clear skies. So it's been a rough week, but thankfully we've made it to a calm place.
Wow. So which one of those four are we going to be seeing for the rest of the week?
I would definitely say that last one is what you'll see. The temperatures right now are nice. Still a little warm, but no rain, no hail. We're getting rid of all that. And if we start tonight with the evening planner, the temperatures outside are just perfect. At 7 p.m., a high of 80 degrees. That is something I'm sure we can all agree is what we enjoy. And if we look throughout the rest of the night, just a high of 73 at 10 p.m. So it's definitely time to break out light jackets and long sleeves because it is going to get a little bit chilly. But if you're thinking of doing something fun for this weekend, it is a long weekend after all. Well, I highly recommend going on a road trip. Out in the southwest region of the country, there are nice temperatures all around the map. 78 degrees is the high in Las Vegas, and down in LA, a high of 83 for tomorrow. So definitely grab your friends and go do something fun this weekend. I think we all deserve it. But if you're looking for some fun events to do this weekend, especially with the long weekend on Veterans Day, I have some fun events you can check out. First up, we have a free movie screening out in Scottsdale at Odyssey Aquarium. The Disney fan favorite Coco is going to be playing, so bring your blankets, your chairs, and have a great time with friends. Also this weekend out in Avondale, we have the NASCAR semifinal race. It's going to cut down from top 8 to top 4, so go and check that out. And of course, finally, Monday is Veterans Day, so come out and check out a great Veterans Day parade on Monday. Looking at your forecast, you have 64 degrees as the high at 8 a.m., but then it's going to hit 80 around noon. So when the parade festivities are really going on, that's when the weather is going to be perfect. And as we look at the 7-day forecast, starting with this weekend, a high of 85 on Sunday and Monday. But as we look at throughout the rest of the week, a high of 80 on Wednesday and 81 on Thursday and Friday. It's going to be amazing. In the Weather Center, Ricky Cornish, Cronkite News.
We're in probably the most unique or most interesting time in Arizona's history when it comes to Arizona's implication on the national map.
Coming up next, Cronkite News and Review.
We take a look back at some of our top stories from earlier this week, including why Arizona could be the tipping point state of who wins the White House.
And the astronomical phenomenon coming to Arizona skies next week. We'll tell you when to get your telescopes out when we come back.
Cronkite Noticias is the Spanish-speaking division of Cronkite News, covering topics such as economics, education, sustainability, immigration, and border relations. Cronkite Noticias strives to serve the Spanish-speaking community in Arizona. Under the guidance of prominent Spanish-speaking professionals, students at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism develop content for our broadcast partner, Univision, as well as on Facebook and Twitter. Explore Cronkite Noticias at cronkitenoticias.azpbs.org.
With wildfires, a scarcity of water, and other environmental issues facing the Earth today, it's critical to stay up to date with local impacts of a changing climate. That's why we created Elemental, covering sustainability, a multimedia collaboration between public television and radio stations. From climate change to water conservation to renewable energy and much more, Elemental covers the latest in sustainability news. Find our stories on our website, elementalreports.com.
As journalists at Cronkite News, we report on stories that matter to you by focusing on the local impact. We dig deeper and work tirelessly to keep you informed.
Live in Wickerburg.
Live in Los Angeles.
In Cleveland. In Washington. In Louisville.
From Jerusalem.
Live in Philadelphia. From around the world to right here in Phoenix.
At Cronkite News, we report the facts and stick to the truth.
Welcome back to Cronkite News in Review.
One of our top stories this week, election 2020. In the past, Arizona has been known to be a reliably red state. However, these next elections could change that.
For the first time since 1996, we could go either way in the presidential election. Cronkite News reporter Mariah Gallegos found out why the possible shift is happening.
Arizona is actually considered a
Now, it looks like we're having slight technical difficulties on that, but the Senate race is heating up. OH Predictive took a look at how much money the candidates have.
Democrat Mark Kelly has $9.5 million on hand, and Republican Martha McSally, who was appointed to that office and hopes to stay, has $5.6 million. Republican Daniel McCarthy has just $71,000 on hand. As to how fast the candidates are spending that money, McSally has the highest burn rate at 44%, followed by McCarthy with 40%, and Kelly's spend rate is about 32%.
So we want to hear from you now. What issue is the most important to you in the upcoming 2020 elections? The climate, economy, immigration, or something else?
So far, 40% of you say the climate, with the economy coming in around 20%.
Just go to our Cronkite News Facebook or Twitter feeds to vote in our live interactive polls.
Tucson voters overwhelmingly opted against the Sanctuary City initiative this week, which would have limited the circumstances in which police officers could ask about immigration status.
Cronkite News reporter Frankie McLister was in Tucson on Election Day and tells us more.
Yeah, and proponents of that defeated initiative said that despite their loss, that they're still working to make it a more inclusive and safe city for all those immigrants.
A reminder to folks here in Arizona that we are still home of SB 1070, the infamous Show Me Your Papers law, which does make every single local police officer a de facto immigration enforcer.
Zaria Levere helped lead the initiative that put Proposition 205 up for a vote Tuesday and says despite not being passed, their work will continue.
What we want to do with this initiative in the long term is keep families home, keep them free, keep them together.
Tuesday's vote ending months of contentious debate over whether Tucson would go against a state law preventing sanctuary cities.
Tucson is not going to fold or give in to these xenophobic policies that we are seeing coming out on a regular basis.
The Tucson initiative was primarily intended to combat SB 1070, which is Arizona's 2010 immigration law that not only prohibited sanctuary cities, but also requires police to verify the immigration status of anyone suspected of not being in the country legally.
I absolutely voted to make it a sanctuary city. I think it's criminal what they're doing to people.
And while the Tucson City Council has expressed support for undocumented immigrants in the past, all members of the council opposed the measure. Opponents argued Prop 205 would have led to a legal battle over SB 1070 and the city's ability to restrict immigration enforcement.
There is no need for any of that stuff. And besides, it's going to cut down on the number of police. We need police.
Tucson could have also lost out on millions of dollars in both state and federal funds.
This is not a question as to whether or not Tucson is an immigrant welcoming city. We are that by resolution. This is a question as to whether or not 205 is simply good policy or not. 205 is overly broad, it's an overreach.
Tucson rejecting Prop 205. Several Arizona lawmakers, they've announced that they are planning to press ahead with new legislation punishing local governments that are limiting police to enforce immigration law. Right here in the control room, I'm Frankie McLister, Cronkite News.
Okay, back now to our story on how, for the first time since 1996, Arizona could go either way in the presidential election.
Cronkite News reporter Mariah Gallegos found out why the possible shift is happening.
Arizona is actually considered a toss-up state and could be one of the tipping point states of who wins the White House in 2020.
Mike Noble is the chief of research at OH Predictive Insights, and he says because President Trump previously won in Arizona by the slimmest margin of 3.5 points, the next election is uncertain. The latest numbers from political polling supports that.
So you see the biggest parts of where Republicans are hurting right now are among 18 to 34-year-olds, Hispanics, which is an emerging large demographic here, also suburban voters that we're seeing. So again, among those moderates, those folks in the middle, those moderates and leaners, again, they're just not going the GOP's way, which they used to go their way.
And because of the disadvantage Republicans have, Noble expects both Democrats and Republicans to open their wallets on advertising.
What you can expect is an historic amount of money being spent in Arizona, which, funny, interesting fact, last election, the midterms, it was a historic amount of money spent in Arizona elections. Just on broadcast alone was about $127 million spent. We're projected to see, just in traditional broadcast, $250 million, so almost double that.
Cronkite News received this statement from the Arizona Democratic Party about their take on the race. After a long string of broken promises from Donald Trump and Arizona Republicans, Arizonans are ready to make a change in 2020. We are feeling confident about the year ahead, amidst a strong fundraising year and with an increasingly energized electorate. Over the course of the next year, Democrats will continue to highlight the issues that are most important to Arizonans, making the case that we're the party that will make Washington and the state legislature start working for every Arizonan, not just powerful special interest and the wealthy few. The Republican Party gave Cronkite News a statement saying every state in the Southwest is competitive. It goes on to say, every vote in Arizona needs to be fought for and earned. No one can take the state for granted, and that's why we gotta work so early in this cycle, laying the organizational groundwork. We have had field operatives on the ground throughout the state for months, and President Trump is personally committed to ensuring our volunteers have the resources they need to reach into every corner of the state to contact, persuade, and mobilize voters for victory.
We're in probably the most unique or most interesting time in Arizona's history when it comes to Arizona's implication on the national map.
Next Monday, November 11th, people from across most of the world will have the chance to see the planet Mercury passing across the sun.
And luckily for Arizona, we'll be in a prime spot to catch a glimpse of the iconic transit.
Astronomers say this rare Mercury transit won't be seen from Earth again until 2032. The planet will look like a tiny traveling dot on the sun's surface as it passes through.
In fact, Mercury will be so small, viewers from Earth will need special gear, telescopes, or binoculars equipped with protective solar filters in order to see it.
That's it tonight for Cronkite News. Thanks for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
I think great leaders are visionaries.
The second note is this.
That's show business, huh?
We make $200,000 a year in pension. What do you make?